It's been a whirlwind of an episode for four young men looking for justice, but today the countdown is on for family, friends, and supporters of Levi Sparks as he prepares to be set free. ABC 57 is the only news station there live.
Plus, flames at a LaPorte home lead investigators to some naughty work, and it all ends in the arrest of this man. Good morning, Michiana. I'm Emily Evans.
And I'm Drew Gardner.
We're covering a big story this morning, one that's gotten national attention with Ground Zero right here in our community.
For more than 2 years, a group of teens have been fighting for their freedom after making some bad choices.
The four young men are often referred to as the Elkhart Four. You may know them and you may be familiar with their story.
The guys were only teens back in 2012 when they attempted to burglarize a home, but the homeowner was inside. Awakened by the noise of the break-in, Rodney Scott fired off several shots. The bullets killed the teen's accomplice, 21-year-old Denzel Johnson. Well, a prosecutor decided to charge Blake Lehman, Levi Sparks, Jose Quiroz, and Anthony Sharp with the death of Johnson.
The long road had lended many hearings, but for the three of the Elkhart Four, their murder convictions were overturned last year. They were instead sentenced for burglary earlier this month.
Now today, the first of the Elkhart Four is being set free.
Levi Sparks will soon walk out of the Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. That's in western Indiana in Sullivan County, not far from Terre Haute.
And only on ABC 57 News, our Brandon Pope is live there. Part of the only news crew on site for this big day in Brandon. There is much anticipation for his release.
Yeah, that's right, Drew. And really from all sides of this, in just about 2 hours and only on ABC 57, you're going to hear first from Levi Sparks as he takes his first steps out of prison, his first steps of freedom. That's after serving time for burglary in the high-profile Elkhart 4 case. Now, let's wind the clock back a little bit, take you back to 2012 after that deadly burglary attempt. Levi Sparks was convicted with felony murder, but after appealing his sentence, the Indiana Supreme Court ruled his crime was, in fact, not murder. His charge was bumped down to a Class B felony burglary in September, and he was resentenced. Well, now we will be the first ones to hear from him as he leaves the prison. The original day for Sparks to be out was going to be on Sunday, but since they only release prisoners on Mondays and Thursdays, today is the day, and we're going to be right there to do it. He's expected to be released around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, so when he does come out, we're going to be there, and we're going to take that live if it's during our newscast. So stick with us for that exclusive coverage. I'm live from Wabash County. Brandon Pope, ABC 57 News.
Brandon, thank you. Jose Quiroz is the only one of the four that still has a murder conviction. He was the first to go to trial. He pleaded guilty to felony murder charges for his friend's death. The Indiana Department of Corrections says the now 20-year-old man won't be released until April 2035.
With the Indiana Supreme Court ruling, Quiroz is not considered responsible for Johnson's death, so his quest for justice continues. The Elkhart Circuit Court yesterday requested that the Wabash Valley Prison give them a progress report for Quiroz. This may be another step toward a change in sentencing. Quiroz has a status conference set for 2 weeks from today.
ABC 57 has been on top of new developments in the case since day one, and we'll continue to follow them for you.
Stay with us all morning long as we await the release of Levi Sparks. You can catch the coverage right here and online at abc57.com.
And we now want to turn our attention to the weather. It's kind of a cold and breezy start out there.
Yeah, let's get a first check of that forecast with meteorologist Greg Bobus. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, it's a little bit of a cold start. If we didn't have the wind, it wouldn't be bad, but we do, and it makes it feel a lot colder than it actually is.
And new this morning, a fire at an apartment complex leads to the discovery of a possible drug sting.
Firefighters believe they discovered a methamphetamine manufacturing operation. It's not only what they found inside the complex, but also it's who they found that you may find disturbing. LaPorte firefighters were called to the Country Acres apartment complex just after 5 yesterday. After quickly controlling the fire, the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office says investigators discovered hints of a narcotics-making operation. Inside the apartment was 23-year-old Robert Deppner and a child just 18 months old. The baby had to be taken to LaPorte Hospital as a precautionary measure. Deppner was charged with a level 4 and level 5 felony and is still behind bars this morning.
Happening right now in Breaking in St. Joseph County, firefighters are on the scene of a business fire on State Road 23. It's believed to be the Reith Riley Construction office building. Take a look here. You can see where it's all happening. The flames are in the 25,000 block. ABC 57 is there live ahead with the details. A bill set to repeal the controversial Religious Freedom Restoration Act has been blasted. The so-called super RFRA has been struck down in the State House.
South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg couldn't be more happy. It was something he addressed in his Mayor's Night Out event last night. The failed proposal would have yanked back the existing Religious Freedom Restoration law, including the LGBT inclusive provisions added following loads of backlash. If you remember, the uproar surrounding the passing of the law forced Governor Mike Pence to change the mandate to protect the LGBT community.
A push by an Elkhart grandmother has made a new law pass with the Indiana Senate Committee. 19-month-old Kirk Coleman was killed by his babysitter in 2014. His family believes if there was a child abuse registry, this toddler never would have been killed. He died at the hands of Jackie Dolston, a woman who'd been in trouble before. The boy's grandmother, Angie Garza, and Senator Carlin Yoder worked to get the bill in front of lawmakers. Now Kirk's law will move through the Senate and House.
The pour-up showdown continues, and liquor store owners want alcohol sales requirements to be a bit simpler. They want to be able to sell liquor on Sundays. They say other restrictions upset them also, like not being able to sell cold water, carbonated drinks, or candy. Some lawmakers think the ban is pushing business to cross the state line.
Seeing steps toward improvement in Flint.
Michigan Governor Rick Snyder has put together a 17-member team to address the city's water crisis. The committee will focus on finding long-term solutions. It's made up of the Flint mayor, environmental experts, and a medical doctor. Another new development, Snyder has asked lawmakers an additional $28 million for relief. Of that money, $3 million would go toward paying residents' water bills.
It's 7:08. California officials are cracking down as they trace the steps of 3 escaped inmates.
We're going to find them. We're not going to stop till we find them.
And while authorities haven't found the dangerous cons yet, they've snagged several others in connection to the brazen getaway.
And as the Oregon Wildlife Refuge protest begins to close, several more militiamen have been rounded up.
Starting off breezy and a little on the cold side this morning. Temperatures right around 30, but we feel like we're in the teens thanks to that wind. Bundle up at the bus stop and be prepared for a little light snow going into the afternoon. We'll look at that next.